Welcome to Anwar. Today we're talking about the controversy surrounding the visit of U.S. President Trump, specifically centered on the strong demands made by UMNO youth leader Akmal following the interception of the Gaza aid ship.
Yeah, it's a real flashpoint. Basically, you've got this major international incident, the Israeli interception of the global Sumud flotilla, spilling right into Malaysian domestic politics.
Right, and forcing this split almost immediately. You have Prime Minister Anwar trying to stick to diplomatic protocol for the upcoming ASEAN summit.
And then, boom, Akmal comes in with this thread of, well, pretty massive grassroots action. It's a direct clash.
And the core reason, the thing driving all this tension, it's personal, isn't it? It's about Malaysian lives.
Absolutely. 17 Malaysian citizens. They were on those GSF ships heading to Gaza.
And then contact was just lost after the interception. That's the trigger, right?
Yeah.
That loss of contact.
Exactly. Suddenly, it's not just foreign policy. It's about our own people potentially in danger, gone silent after, military action.
You really can't overstate that, especially when you look at who was on board. That makes it hit home even harder.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't just anonymous volunteers, though their safety is paramount.
It included people everyone recognizes, like the singer Haliza Helmi and her sister Nur Hazwani Afika were on one ship.
Right, and Zizi Kirana, another popular singer, she was on the Huga.
So suddenly, this is all over the news, social media. It becomes incredibly visible and emotional.
Hugely. It's a PR nightmare for the government, frankly. Celebrities on a humanitarian mission stopped like that. It resonates.
And besides the singers, there were other dedicated volunteers, people like Nurfrahin Ramli, Danish Nazran Murad, Musa Nawari.
Spread across 5 ships, yeah. And the moment they go silent, the clock starts ticking, politically speaking.
Okay, so let's talk about the interception itself, because the reports suggest it wasn't just a simple turnback. It sounds quite forceful.
Oh, definitely. The details that came out, they point to a very coordinated military action. We're talking significant escalation.
Like what specifically? What tactics were used?
Well, reports mention radar jamming, for starters. That's not just a warning signal. That's actively trying to disable the ship's navigation, their ability to communicate their position.
Okay, wow. That's serious.
And then there were the high-pressure water cannons, apparently used specifically against the smaller boats in the flotilla.
To force them back.
To physically block them from entering what the military called the Red Zone R2. It shows a clear intent to use, well, pretty overwhelming force to stop the aid mission completely.
Given that level of aggression and Malaysians being involved and out of contact, the reaction back home makes sense. It was fast and very strong.
Which brings us right to Akmal, the UMNO youth leader. His ultimatum was extraordinary.
He basically drew a direct line, didn't he, between the fate of those 17 citizens and the biggest diplomatic event Malaysia has planned for the year.
Absolutely. His demand was release the Malaysian volunteers immediately. If not,
the government must cancel the invitation for U.S. President Trump to attend the ASEAN summit in KL this October.
It's a huge political gamble, designed to put the prime minister in an impossible corner. Choose national pride, choose our citizens, or choose international diplomacy.
That's a massive challenge to throw down, especially just weeks before hosting ASEAN. And he didn't stop there, did he? There was a threat attached.
A very potent threat. He said if the government insists on Trump coming, UMNO youth would mobilize nationwide.
Mobilize for what?
For a face-to-face protest when Trump arrives in Kuala Lumpur. Imagine that image mass protests, greeting a world leader at a major summit.
Yeah, that's not just a protest. It's a direct challenge to the government's control and image on the world stage.
Exactly. It's designed to create maximum embarrassment, both for the Malaysian government and the U.S. president.
And Akmal's slogan really captured that feeling. Let us face Trump directly. Harming them is equivalent to harming all of us Malaysians.
That framing is powerful. It makes the interception feel like an attack on Malaysia itself, on national dignity. That resonates deeply at the grassroots.
And it wasn't just UMNO youth feeling this way, right? Other groups got involved?
Correct. PAS youth, they quickly announced their own demonstration, a march from KL to the U.S. Embassy.
So, unified pressure from the youth wings of major parties. That makes it much harder for the government to just brush off.
Definitely. It signals broad-based anger that cuts across usual political divides.
Okay, so that's one side. Intense public pressure, political demands for confrontation. What about the other side? Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim. How did he handle the initial interception news?
Well, first he had to address the incident directly. He issued a strong condemnation of Israel's actions, made it clear Malaysia viewed it as ignoring Palestinian rights, ignoring global conscience.
Standard diplomatic condemnation, but necessary.
Necessary, yes. Showed solidarity with the mission with the detained Malaysians, but then came a really difficult part. The Trump invitation for ASEAN.
And he decided to stick with it, despite the uproar. Why? What's the argument for keeping that invitation open?
His rationale is all about diplomatic principle, or maybe, realpolitik. He argued that you need to engage directly. His words were something like, diplomatic principles require us to speak the truth face to face, rather than avoiding the subject.
So use the ASEAN summit itself as the platform.
Exactly. Don't cancel the meeting. Use the guaranteed face time with the U.S. president to raise Malaysia's concerns directly about the detainees, about the broader issues. If you cancel, you lose that chance. You're essentially silencing yourself on that stage.
But wouldn't critics say that's naive, that a formal meeting focused on ASEAN business isn't the best place to pressure for the release of citizens?
That's precisely the counterargument. The youth wings, Akmal, they likely see formal engagement as, well, maybe ineffective for an urgent issue like this, maybe even looking like complicity. They prefer direct pressure.
So Anwar's playing a longer game. About Malaysia's role, its credibility.
I think so. Canceling a major invitation weeks before the summit could damage Malaysia's reputation as a stable host. Hosting ASEAN successfully is important for Malaysia's standing in the region, for trade, for security discussions, often involving the U.S.
It's a calculation, then. Risk the domestic political storm from the protests
versus the potential long-term damage to Malaysia's international relations and economic interests if the summit is seen as being disrupted or sabotaged.
He's trying to project maturity, perhaps. We can host and we can protest, but through official channels.
That seems to be the strategy. But Akmal is leveraging that very idea of national dignity against it. To many on the ground, not canceling looks like weakness, like prioritizing protocol over citizen safety and honor.
It really brings up a fundamental caution for international relations, doesn't it? And maybe for you, listening. Which approach actually carries more weight? Is it the formal diplomacy, the face-to-face talk, even if it's uncomfortable?
Or is it the loud, visible pressure from the street, the protest designed to shame and force a reaction? It's a classic dilemma.
And this whole incident, it just perfectly highlights that constant tightrope Malaysia walks.
Fierce public and political support for Palestine, it's core to Malaysian identity. No leader can ignore that.
But at the same time, Malaysia needs to be a player on the world stage, host summits, engage with global powers like the U.S., even when there are huge disagreements.
This crisis just dragged that tension out into the open very dramatically.
And sticking with the invitation, while maybe sound from a purely diplomatic viewpoint, carries that immediate risk of, well, chaos.
Huge risk. The world's media will be in KL for ASEAN. If Akmal makes good on his threat, the story is an ASEAN cooperation. It's mass protests, political instability in the host country.
So it's this incredible balancing act, Anwar trying to navigate diplomatic channels.
Akmal and the youth wings are threatening to pull a rug out from under the whole event with street action. And caught in the middle, the fate of 17 Malaysians.
It really is a multi-layered crisis. So the final thought here, perhaps. What's the real cost of speaking truth face-to-face diplomatically?
Yeah, if pursuing that formal channel directly leads to massive public unrest and potential instability during a crucial international summit, is the principle worth the potential chaos?
It's a stark choice between expressing moral outrage and maintaining geopolitical stability. Rarely is it laid out quite so clearly.
A really tough situation for the government. Definitely be watching how this unfolds as October gets closer and hoping for the safe return of the volunteers.
Absolutely.
Remember to like and subscribe for more videos like this.